When you're considering the best format or structure for an encounter with a customer, whether that encounter is a demonstration or a presentation, I think it's really important to consider the amount of control that the physicality, space and location of the encounter will give you. It's foolish, I think, to use a heavily scripted linear format when you don't really exert enough psychological or physical control. If the customer has an expectation, a reasonable psychological expectation entering into a dialogue, and you've scripted a simple linear presentation, then you're going to have conflict. Not only will you look relatively unprepared, but also you're likely to be confounded, and that's likely to result in a loss of confidence on your part. So, look at the psychology of the situation. If you sit down with your customer on a pair of chairs over a table, like this, for example, well, that's a situation which encourages a dialogue. So you need to be prepared for a dialogue in that situation. You can't just assume that you'll be able to script. Now, if you sit down together in front of a demonstration, well, yes, you have the keyboard, so you have control. However, by exerting that control, you may well confound the expectation of your user. Your user may well want to go in different directions. And you need to encompass that within the format you describe. So, if you're both sat down in front of a computer, be prepared for a dialogue. If you control the computer and the customer is set elsewhere or stood up, then you exert more psychological control. Because, psychologically speaking, you've divided the situation between you, who's in control, and the customer, who's a passive receiver. You're broadcasting. And a broadcast format will work better in that situation than a dialogue will. So, if you want to do a dialogue, ensure the physicality of the location and space you choose is appropriate. Sit together, become one social entity. If, on the other hand, you really are wedded to a broadcast scripted approach for your demonstration and presentation, ensure that the psychological measure of that situation is weighted in your favour, that you have control, that you are standing and the rest are sitting, or you're sitting and the rest are standing. You create these psychological barriers to ensure there's social pressure to conform and use it to your advantage.